What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stupid Shit Podcast. This is our very first episode. We got some topics to talk about here regarding the NBA free agency, as well as our predictions coming up for the 2019-2020 season, as well as whatever random shit we want to talk about, because that's really the point of this podcast to begin with. So, I'm your host, Nick. We're going to introduce everybody that is a part of the podcast here tonight. I'll start from the top. We have Jake Hall.
Yup.
We got Joey J. Hutchinson.
Shy gang, you know that boy. Hey.
And we got Seth Stogsdill.
Yeah.
And actually,
You guys are really
we're bringing in a special guest here for the very first episode. It is J.D. Sawyer.
Skr, bull, here, you know what I'm saying?
So that's J.D.
Shy gang, you know the vibes.
That's a little taste of what you're going to get to hear from him tonight. Whether that's good or bad is up for you to decide. But, yeah, so like I said, we got some NBA topics to talk about as well as whatever else we want to get into. So now that we've introduced everybody, our first topic we're going to talk about here is the NBA free agency that is going down right now. Some pretty crazy moves going down for teams across the league. What should we start with? Anyone got any ideas here?
Kawhi Leonard.
Obviously, yeah, Kawhi Leonard. One of the biggest moves, if not the biggest move of all of the offseason here in 2019.
And
Go ahead.
It's facts.
and then acquiring Paul George.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
was not only...
Insane.
You see, if you have your notifications on for Woj on Twitter, you see Kawhi going to the Clippers. Everybody's going crazy. It's the biggest move of the offseason.
Yeah.
And then less than 5 minutes later, they acquire Paul George. They're definitely going to be a threat in the West this upcoming season.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I think that Paul George acquisition was the biggest piece of the Kawhi Leonard move, only because Kawhi Leonard on a team, as he proved in Toronto, is enough if he has good role players surrounding him. But Kawhi paired with another star, it's definitely huge for the Clippers.
I agree, and that not only is that huge for the Clippers to acquire both Kawhi and Paul George, obviously, but that also is pretty disastrous for the Oklahoma City Thunder as they do lose Paul George, and that also may result in them losing Russell Westbrook, as there's been some rumors going around that he's interested in a trade away from OKC, and one of his possible landing spots would be Miami.
Yeah, I also
biggest
heard on
one.
Twitter that the Thunder were receiving those trades, and they weren't necessarily rejecting them right away. So they're definitely interested in looking to see what they can get.
Also, a low-key team was the Pistons that have been in conversation.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Pistons definitely been under the radar a little bit. Their biggest acquisition was Derrick Rose. They're going to see if they can revive his career, bring him back to his MVP state. Not sure if that's going to happen or not, but that's definitely what their goal is. We'll have to see.
Anything's possible.
That's
it is
that,
the NBA.
absolutely anything is possible,
That
and
is true.
Best
definitely
players in the world.
it seems like the Pistons have been one of those teams that's been on a lot of players' radars. They just haven't been able to make the final push and actually acquire a lot of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, what I wanted to talk about was Jake's closest team as far as his location is, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. Jake, how do you feel about the Sixers and what they've done in the offseason so far?
Decent. I mean, I will miss Jimmy Butler, but I'm pretty sure we got a little bit better.
Definitely, some people have said that you guys now have 3 power forwards and a center in your starting 5. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, well, Tobias Harris can be switched out for. He can be. What can he do? He could just play both 3 and 4. It really doesn't matter. It's not like he's a center.
So, you think he's more of a all-around
And-
two-way player?
Yes, in an ATL, Al Horford used to play power forward, so I'm pretty sure he might be more comfortable with playing that role.
Not a
For
believer
sure.
in that team whatsoever, so just putting that out there.
I
Zero
definitely
shooting.
think there's going to be another big trade deadline move for the Sixers
You've
in,
never
the,
been
in the next season.
I don't think anything's going to happen. They're just going to roll
You've never
with
been
it
a
and fail.
believer, Joe.
So, yeah, I haven't. You're right. Ben Simmons hasn't proved anything to me yet.
I'm not either. In your team.
Ben Simmons hasn't proved anything.
Well, the guy at the bottom of the Discord list here that you can see on screen if you're watching on YouTube is Seth Stogsdill, and he's been pretty quiet here so far. I think we should talk about his team, the Boston Celtics, and what they've done so far this offseason. Obviously, their biggest moves were
Trash
losing.
cans.
There, you can
I
hear
agree.
JD's thoughts.
I agree.
As their biggest moves were obviously losing Kyrie Irving to the Nets and gaining Kemba
Let's
Walker
go.
in his place. So,
The
Seth,
no-
how do you feel? First of all, besides
Massive
who you've
downgrade.
acquired, how do you feel about who you've lost, especially in Kyrie Irving?
The no defense Boston
I'm
Celtics.
extremely happy about losing Kyrie. I'm excited to have that toxicity out of the locker room and have our guys having fun playing basketball again. You know.
Mhm.
Definitely.
I'm excited to meet a loyal Celtics fan. Honestly, haven't met one ever. So
This kid's literally
And,
insane. How are the Sonics doing, bud?
Oh boy, taking shots at JD's favorite team, who's no longer in the league.
pretty good, honestly.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
doing
they're not
good.
late for a reason.
Okay. Listen,
Yeah.
my fans are 10 times more loyal than yours, Seth, and we don't have a team. So
How are you gonna
How's that
be
feel?
loyal to a team that doesn't exist? It doesn't exist. You can't be loyal to something that doesn't exist.
That's not really a fair point, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's not.
even though like there's lots of teams that haven't existed anymore, and they still have a diehard fan base.
the Sonics being the most prominent.
It's the OKC people.
Yeah, they're not a team though. That's the whole point here.
Well, yeah. I think what Seth's getting at is that Seth's team is doing better than JD's, just simply because JD doesn't
A
have a
lot
team.
better.
They are doing better. They have an actual team.
Actually, if you think about it from a different point of view, JD's team has 0 losses in like the past 10 years. So
Hey, all I will say, 1979 NBA champions.
there you
Thunder,
go.
0 champions.
Yeah.
3 MVPs, 2 of them off the team. Paul George acquired off the team. Russell Westbrook on the move. Sorry.
How do you guys
Couldn't feel any worse.
Oh, actually, we have to wrap up what we were talking about here with Seth. Now that Kyrie is gone, and you've obviously expressed how happy you are about that, how do you feel about the replacement coming in Kemba Walker?
Okay.
He's a lesser of Kyrie. They have the same play style.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Just keep talking.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, buddy.
Shut up, JD. He seems like he could be less toxic Kyrie with a little that's not as good because, you know, it happens.
Trash.
We're not going to have as much talent, but we're for sure going to play a lot more team basketball and more basketball games, you know?
Trash.
I definitely agree with some of those points that they're definitely be playing more as a team now. Kyrie, as you said, definitely did bring some toxicity that was not very positive to them at all, obviously. So we're actually going to get back to you later and ask about how you said their performance is going to be different, but you still think it's going to be a good season for them. And so we're going to ask you about how their seeding is going to be once we get back to our way too early NBA predictions. But first, we have another team to cover, and that is the team that me and Joey support, and that's the Indiana Pacers. They lose players such as Bojan Bogdanovic and Thaddeus Young, while acquiring players like Jeremy Lamb and Malcolm Brogdon. Joey, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's easy. Top three seed easily.
So do you think obviously acquiring Malcolm Brogdon is going to be huge for at the point guard position, especially losing Darren Collison, and it's also going to be good for Aaron Holiday still to get some minutes there at point guard. But how do you feel about losing a three-point shooter like Bojan Bogdanovic as well as the big man at Thaddeus Young?
Well, I'm glad we got rid of that. I couldn't remember a good moment, honestly, from him. So glad we got rid of him. He was a good defender, but
I definitely thought
Not
he.
teammate.
I
Nothing
definitely
much
thought he brought a veteran presence to the team, but like you said, he didn't have very many like.
he was a leader. But
Yeah. As
Yeah.
well, like his individual on the court play wasn't the greatest, but I definitely think losing Bojan Bogdanovic is going not necessarily hurt us, but I definitely think we're gonna miss him. He was a
it
great.
was big.
Yeah.
It was big, but since we picked up Jeremy Lamb, which is a pretty good three-point shooter, he's been improving every year. T.J. Warren
T.J. Warren
also
as well.
improved every single year, and
Absolutely.
Brogdon improved every single year. All these guys have been improving. They're going to improve even more on the Pacers, and we're surprised.
Touching on T.J. Warren, I definitely think he's gone under the radar for a lot of his career, being on those Suns teams that haven't been very successful at all. I definitely think in Indiana he's gonna not only get his name on the radar, but improve as well in that organization.
Yep, I agree. He can prove himself.
So you said top 3 seed.
Yes. We'll get to that.
We will get to that. Do we have anything else to cover regarding free agency? I mean, obviously we do, but what do we want to touch on next here? Lakers?
Yeah, we can talk about the Lakers lineup.
Obviously, LeBron James, that key piece they acquired, and then last season, and then trading for Anthony Davis to put them together is definitely going to be interesting to see, as well as, again, like we talked about earlier with the Clippers, the battle for LA is going to get pretty interesting this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think Clippers have the edge, though, just because of the bench pieces they have as Lou Will
and the defense on that team is one of the best in the league. Top 3 in the league, for sure.
But Lakers definitely have a squad. I don't know if
Yeah.
I believe in them as much as the Clippers, but they're going to be pretty good.
One thing, as we go back to the Pacers here, it seemed like across social media, the rumor was the Pacers and Ricky Rubio had a done deal. And as soon as 6 p.m. hit on that day, within minutes he had signed to the Suns, and Malcolm Brogdon came to the Pacers, which I definitely think benefits the Pacers. But that definitely shocked me how Ricky Rubio chose to go with the Suns when it seemed like a deal with the Pacers was just about done.
Yeah, it's very odd. It really surprised me.
I think it surprised everybody just because, I mean, there were people already tweeting him and following him saying, welcome to Indy and everything. And then from out of nowhere, he elects to go with the Suns. So definitely interesting there. But I think it's going to work out in the long run, especially for the Pacers as they pick up Malcolm Brogdon. Next team I wanted to touch on, obviously, the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving teaming up there. Seth, obviously not a big fan of Kyrie Irving. He definitely has he thinks it's a negative past there with the Celtics. Do you think anyone can, this is open to anyone here, do you think Kyrie is going to bring that same level of toxicity to the locker room in Brooklyn, or is he going to have a fresh start and going to be able to lead that team to some success?
No, he never wanted to go to the Celtics in the first place. So he wants to go to Brooklyn. So he's going to be just fine there. He wanted to team up with Kevin. He wanted to team up with everyone there. He's going to be fine.
So you think the negativity strictly came from not wanting to play there in the first place?
No, yeah, exactly. He didn't want to play there.
I think the majority of the negativity came from not only him not wanting to play there, but a lot of the management with how he went there, who he was traded for, and who he played with went into it. Especially him coming off of his injury, that whole team being in kind of a weird situation lineup-wise, minutes-wise, rotation-wise. It didn't really help him, and he's a star. He's been a star. He was a star in Cleveland until LeBron got there, and then LeBron was a star. And we kind of saw Kyrie react in a certain type of way when LeBron got there too. So was it surprising? Not really. Brooklyn, I feel like, will be a lot better for him in the first year. It'll be interesting to see how him and KD work together in the second year.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on, as Kyrie, especially teaming up with LeBron in Cleveland, that was great and everything. They won a championship. They brought one to that city. He hit that clutch shot in Game 7. But everyone was talking about how Kyrie Irving wanted to go to a young team and be the number one guy and be the leader. And he got what he wanted there in Boston. And it seemed like it didn't turn out very well. But like Joey said, that might not have been the team he wanted to be that number one guy with.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
He's definitely not a number one guy.
I don't think the Celtics should have ever traded Isaiah Thomas in the first place.
And speaking of him, he now has a fresh start with the Wizards. How do you think that's going to go?
My boy IT coming out of Seattle, went to UW, T-Town born and raised, hoping for the best.
We already know how the Wizards are going to go. They're,
it's gonna
all
be
right,
tough.
that speaks for itself.
It's pretty simple.
Another
you think team's gonna do something? I mean, they're pretty
Either
trash.
they trade Bradley Beal or they don't trade Bradley Beal.
So, Kyrie teaming up with Kevin Durant. Obviously, Kevin Durant's not going to be ready for the start of the season, as everyone knows. So, how do you think that team's going to fare without Kevin Durant?
Fine.
Well, I think they're going to be middle of the road.
So, do you think they're a playoff team without Kevin Durant?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
The middle of the East, somewhere there.
What other moves do we have to look at here? What do you think about DeMarcus Cousins to the Lakers?
He's a fat lesbian.
Yeah, I don't got any comment on that.
I'm excited to see him and AD together again. I think that was a
That's what I was going to touch on.
duo
Yeah, it's going to be interesting
in
to see,
New Orleans,
especially with
Great
LeBron.
choice.
Probably gonna be a lot of drama, to be honest.
That's
Great choice.
also a possibility.
That's LA
I felt
for you
like-
though.
I felt like the New Orleans teams did better when DeMarcus Cousins wasn't there, but I guess that's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah. Next up, a very surprising move. Obviously,
This is LA, though.
with the acquisition of Kyrie Irving, the Nets were going to move D'Angelo Russell, but no one thought it was going to be to the Warriors. So, how do we think he's going to do in Golden State?
Three-headed monster in that backcourt. That's
I
all
feel like a
really
trade
have to
is going
say.
to end up.
You think
Yeah.
you think he's going to have a short stay there?
Yeah,
I can't talk to you
Yeah.
about that one. That signing just did not make sense to me.
It
Yeah.
makes sense because they can run Clay at small forward. He is fully capable.
Yeah, he
But-
definitely has the defense to run small
We'll
forward.
see. I
Has
think
the
he's going to
tool
get
set
traded though.
offensively.
I know, but you put a starting level point guard at shooting guard, and you're playing with Steph Curry in the front court.
Yeah, that is weird. Very weird.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely an interesting move there from the Warriors, but the Warriors are going to be the Warriors and get those big name players like they always do.
What about the Jazz?
Jazz making big moves there. They're definitely going to be a team to watch out for in the West.
For sure. Definitely easily top 5 seed. In
I
my
agree.
book.
Mm.
They're
Uh,
going to make a big splash. They'll have a chance to win, win out the West. We'll see. See what
And-
happens.
as far as West seeding goes, going back to the Warriors, Klay Thompson not going to be ready to start the season. How are they going to do? Especially
gonna
after the
still
loss of Kevin Durant.
100% be in the playoff race. But I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
could be an MVP. Could be an MVP year for Steph Curry. He will have.
I
the
feel
load
like
on
he puts up
offense.
those numbers every year, just about. Really.
Now,
Yeah,
now
but
with
I think
D'Angelo,
it'll kind of
I don't
shine a
really
little
think
more
so.
with him being that only
The
option.
true guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree there.
I don't think he'll be able to do it with D'Angelo, though. Because D'Angelo's not a catch and shoot guy.
Yeah.
He's an ISO guy.
That's
Yeah.
and that's definitely a completely different play style than with Klay Thompson.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, that whole Warriors offense is find
why
an
it doesn't
open
make sense
shooter,
to me.
spot it up, catch, shoot, bang.
Yeah,
There's a
it's weird.
three.
So do you
Fast
think?
pace, tons of screens, off ball, on ball.
So going back to a contract with D'Angelo Russell, do you think he's only the temporary solution to Klay being injured?
No, I just think he's just there. They had a chance to get him, and they just went for it. I think that's just what happened.
But you
That's
think
all.
he's going to be shipped off fairly quickly?
Most likely, but it's definitely possible he stays.
We'll definitely have to see how it goes and how they, what their chemistry is like, and obviously the win-loss column, how the results are coming out for them, and if they're going to need to make a move after the loss of Kevin Durant and the temporary loss of Klay Thompson.
Yep, we'll see.
Up next, what I wanted to talk about was the Bucks. What are your thoughts on that Chris Middleton 5-year, $178 million
What's so
contract?
funny?
Of course,
Booty
he's not
cheeks.
worth that. But they had to give it to him. He wasn't
Didn't even-
going to sign if they didn't give that to him.
Yeah.
He's already,
And
he's already said that.
That's definitely one of their core players.
Yeah, he's their I think he's the closer. If you got to make a three, he's going to shoot. So, yeah, it's not like
Oh,
Giannis
yeah.
is going to take that shot.
Better be
Yeah,
Ray
I
Allen
agree.
next season if you're gonna give him that contract.
I know.
Also with the Bucks, they're teaming brothers up. You got Brooke and Robin, as well as Giannis and his brother.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Definitely will be
Yeah.
interesting to see. Any other things you want to talk about here as far as free agency go?
We can touch on the Nuggets. You think they're going to still be good and consistent with their game? You think they're going to still be up there in seeding, or?
I for
Yeah.
sure think they'll be a top 3 seed in the West.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely,
take it.
yeah. I think they're gonna still definitely be a threat in the West.
Yeah, they're going to be a threat.
Yeah, definitely for sure. So
They got that playoff experience now.
yeah, is that about it for free agency here?
Harrison Barnes contract with the Kings. Nah.
We can talk. Hey, let's talk about the draft real quick.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, we
yeah,
can go back
yeah.
about the draft. Obviously, we got the first 3 picks were very obvious, and Zion, RJ, and Ja Morant. But how do we
I kind of want
feel?
to talk about the steals, like
The draft
Nasir
steals?
Little. He was a real steal at 25 for the Trailblazers.
I agree.
He's gonna be really big for them, honestly. I think he's gonna automatically be there.
You think he's
Replace
gonna?
Be a backup
Myers
or a
Leonard.
starter.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I agree.
Tyler
think
Hero. Tyler Hero, that's the biggest steal. Calling it right now.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Hero, yeah, he got drafted like 18.
Biggest reach?
Biggest reach was definitely the Suns.
Cameron Johnson.
Oh my god. I can't with that team.
But we'll see what happens.
The Suns are also in a really interesting position where they think they're missing one piece, and they just haven't been able to find it in the draft, and it hasn't come to them in free agency. So I think they're just hoping for the best with Cameron Johnson.
They obviously need to change something around that.
Yeah.
They had the chance to draft Kobe, but
They gave Ricky Rubio how much? Like
No clue. I didn't.
it was like I think it was
I don't
18
remember
mil or
his
something.
contract.
Ricky Rubio's trash.
Rubio's contract?
Yeah.
I'm checking right now.
Let's see if we can find that. Ricky Rubio gets 3 years, $51 million.
Yeah, I don't see that as a good
That's definitely a
contract.
hefty contract for Ricky Rubio.
For sure.
Yeah, I get
Ricky
it.
Rubio's not good.
16 mil to 17 mil a year
Yeah.
till he's 30.
I mean, he's a good passer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Plays decent defense.
at least they have someone to give DeAndre Ayton. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as they give him his shots this year.
Yeah.
How do we feel talking? This is related to the draft, but specifically summer league. You see RJ struggling a little bit. Is that any cause for concern at all?
Wow. Yeah, for sure. You can't be going whatever it was 8 for 30 and like expect
I think
for him
RJ's.
to come back like that. He has to do something.
I mean,
He's
it's
not
summer
bringing
league.
it.
I don't like.
RJ's a
predict
player
people in
that's going
summer
to
league
take a
much.
lot of time.
I'm not
That's when
judging him
they-
on summer league. I'm just saying he needs to prove something that he could do something.
I've always felt like RJ would either. I mean, last year I didn't feel like this, but this year I feel like RJ is gonna take a while. He's just gonna be a bust. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think all the Duke boys except for Zion or RJ and Cam, I think are definitely going to be 2 players that have really high ceilings if they can get there and if they're in the right situation.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Cam is in a good situation in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I love
RJ being a heavy ISO player on the Knicks with Julius Randle and Frank Ntilikina. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it could work out for him if he can.
Oh, for sure, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm highly surprised they haven't even traded Frank. Trash ass.
Any more draft steals or sleepers that we want to talk about here?
Draft steals.
What about
Carson
Taco
Edwards.
Fall? He's a big name. Taco Fall.
Yeah,
Went
he
undrafted.
went
Big name, big player.
undrafted, so that's not really a draft sleeper, but the Celtics
Yeah, I
did
mean,
sign
not
him.
undrafted. Yeah.
Jalen Leckie also went undrafted, signed to the
Yeah.
Suns. Big
Yeah,
pickup
yeah.
for them.
Yeah, it is.
Taco Fall would be a backup center at best.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. But the popular
He
opinion is
doesn't have
that
the body to play
yeah,
big time minutes.
yeah. The popular opinion is that his basketball fundamentals aren't that great, but he's just freakishly tall and big.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why
He was looking
got
like a
into
Keem
basketball.
out there in the game today. What do you?
This
It's
kid,
summer
bro.
league. So
He was hitting them post hooks.
This
You
is
didn't
why
see
you're
it?
retarded.
I'm not saying he can't
So-
play. The guy can play
No,
basketball.
He sucks.
Bull fell
I'm kidding.
heavily from what
Oh,
he was
yeah,
projected.
that's
We don't know if
That's
that's,
a
a
big
steal or
steal.
not.
You see,
No,
That's a really
we don't
big
know
steal.
yet. Jake, we don't know yet.
that's a really
I-
big steal.
Will he be able to play the game?
Health issues is my only
I don't
concern.
know. I don't know if he'd be
That's a-
able to
that's-
play.
That's a
He can't
really
even play
big steal.
summer league.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. also technically a rookie this year.
That is true.
Ben Simmons, is that you?
Yeah, it is. Basically.
Storm
Yeah,
onto the
that's-
scene, steal a rookie of the year away from Zion. He's also from Washington.
still-
I mean,
he's gonna steal the rookie of the year from. Ben Simmons, what do you mean?
That joke is getting really old.
I'll tell you what though. The Indiana situation is very interesting
I'm not even saying that because I'm a Sixers fan. I'm just saying that joke is getting really old.
because we took a center in the draft, even though
Goga.
we have to test someone at power forward. I don't know who it's going to be.
It's-
Either Miles or Sabonis.
It's going to be Sabonis at power forward.
I know, it's just
Unless they play Miles at the 4 and Goga at
Well,
the 5.
Miles at
the
the 4, that
GM
doesn't
of the
look
Indiana
right.
Pacers, Kevin, has said that they both can play power forward. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting what kind of lineups they come up with.
It's looking like
Miles
what-
at the 4 really does not look right.
it's looking like the starting five: Brogdon, Oladipo, Warren, Sabonis, and Turner.
Yeah.
There in Indiana to start off.
I'm gonna love seeing
once
Sabonis
once
getting some bigger
Oladipo is healthy,
minutes.
because he's not going to be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah. Jeremy Lin's just going to slip in there
Yeah.
shooting it for the start. And then by, I hear, January or December.
Yep.
Back.
Obviously, don't
Wait,
want to
who's
rush him
gonna-
back though.
Yeah.
Wait, who's gonna play the 3? Wesley?
Warren.
TJ Warren.
Wesley's on the Bucks. Bud.
Wesley is not on the team anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So any other free agency or draft things we want to talk about?
Carson Edwards is a steal at 32.
He's a steal.
There comes the biased Celtics fan there.
No,
What do you
Carson
mean?
Edwards
He's
is a steal.
fire.
Matisse
the best
Thybulle to
shooters
the
I'm not
Sixers.
saying he's not. I'm not saying
He
he's a
can
bad
shoot,
player.
but that's about it.
I'm just
Matisse
saying.
Thybulle to the Sixers is
I
a
like
pick
that pickup.
that
I like
fits
that
their
pickup.
team, but also hurts their team a lot because he's a great defender. That team has a lot of good defenders, but he can't shoot the ball. And I think
What are you
that's
talking
what the
about here?
Sixers are lacking.
No one on that
Matisse
team can.
Thybulle.
Yeah. No, they have shooters, Seth.
Barely.
They have Josh. They have
Mike
Josh.
Harris can
They-
shoot.
They need more shooters surrounding their other
The only
guys.
one that's scared to shoot is Ben Simmons. Everyone else will
There-
shoot.
There's still free agents that we can target or make a trade for.
Yeah, for sure.
Not
I
much
just-
left. Though.
I think
it's-
Matisse Thybulle is going to be a big steal out of the just
And it's
because
not
of
even
how,
like we have
how
no
good of a
shooter.
defender he is.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
How about that Supermax extension for Ben Simmons?
That's
I
that's
definitely
interesting.
think it was a smart play by the Sixers.
I don't think
that-
it's a good play. They got to
that
see him shoot a
extension-
jump shot first.
That extension only counts for potential.
I'm
That's
just
only
waiting
what
for
they
him
give
to hit a three.
Oh no, shoot a three.
Yeah, he barely
Shoot
pulls up.
one.
You see those half courts he chucks up?
Oh,
Oh,
fire!
yeah.
Fire!
Fire.
Beautiful.
What if two of them
Yeah,
hit the
that's-
rim? Two or three of
Yeah,
them?
I'll be a
Maybe.
believer in the Sixers once he shoots.
I mean, when we see games where LeBron literally sitting on, daring him to shoot the ball, and he still doesn't, it's kind of hard to believe in the kid's jumper. We've seen him in practice. He takes him in
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Takes him in shoot around too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
we'll see. I mean, yeah, it's definitely tough over there for the
Ready
three-point shot for Ben
predictions?
Simmons. Yeah, unless
Huh?
anyone else has anything to touch on regarding free agency or the draft or summer league or anything like that, we will get into our predictions.
Anything?
Let's talk about the Pelicans real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm gonna say Pelicans.
Let me ask you this. Hold on.
Sleeper
Let me ask
AC?
one question. It's related to something. Who has the brightest future?
Zion.
Lonzo
Wait,
Ball.
no.
Lonzo Ball.
On that team or in the NBA?
NBA.
Oh,
The
A
brightest
team or a
future?
player?
De'Aaron Fox.
No, the team. A team. Who has the brightest future?
Probably the Pelicans, to be honest.
I don't know.
I like the Hawks.
The Hawks.
I like the
Yeah,
Hawks.
they got a lot of draft picks. Got a lot of good young talent, and they got a lot of NBA ready. Young
I really
talent,
like
too.
the Hawks draft. I think they're gonna do really good this year.
The Hawks.
They definitely have potential here.
It's
Are they?
just
Are they?
Trey.
Are they going to be a good team this year?
No.
No, they're
I
not.
kind of only see
They're gonna-
Trey.
2 years
Prove
from
that
now.
they'll be able to play
Yeah.
if you for
Nah,
sure.
the only people I really see on there is Trey, Cam, and Collins. But with the Pelicans, I actually see a lot of potential. A lot of
You
young
haven't even
players.
seen
What?
DeAndre Hunter play. What do you mean?
Oh, DeAndre
DeAndre Hunter is going to come into the league as a
You
top
haven't seen
15
those
3 and
two
D
play at
player.
all.
not-
And they
I'm
also
not a
got
bel-
Bruno Fernando, which is really good
Listen,
pickup. in the
I'm not a
draft.
I'm not a believer in the next Robert Covington.
I don't know why he wouldn't be. They just need a role player.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They already have
He's
scores.
not supposed to be a star. That's not why they draft.
He just seems like a 3-and-D guy player to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
He's
team
a
needs a
role
good
player.
3-and-D player. Jimmy Butler, Klay
What?
Thompson, they make championship teams.
Do you know role players are needed, right, Jake?
I'm aware of that, but I don't think you should be taking a role player at the what did he go for?
A lot
7?
of role players have been picked number 4, Jake.
like what?
Like what?
That's
Do you want me
just
to
too
name
high for
one?
me.
I'll go through it right now. Do you really want me to spend 20
He
minutes?
was also the
No.
he was also debatably the top player on the board at the time.
Yeah, he was the next person up.
Yeah, I know. I was just never really a believer in DeAndre Hunter.
I feel like
He
it's a
had
great
the.
pick.
I think he was a better player
That's what they
than
needed.
Jarrett Culver at Texas Tech. Just because Jarrett Culver didn't step up in the big time moments when he needed to, and when his team
biggest
really
stage.
was lacking a guy to score for them, DeAndre Hunter stepped up.
DeAndre
Jarrett
Hunter
Culver
locked
didn't.
him down. That's what happened.
Exactly.
Great defender.
Yeah.
Great defender, great 3-point shooter in college, and as long as it translates to the NBA, he's gonna be a player that's going to get $15 to $20 million per year as his second contract.
We'll see. I'm really just not a believer then.
Well, we'll see.
We will.
All right, anything else?
Anything else you want to talk about here?
Let's talk about Darius Garland.
Oh yeah. How do you feel
Oh,
about
the
it?
Cleveland situation.
Interesting situation.
Ew.
Cleveland Cavaliers. I
Not
would
a
have felt bad. Listen, I would have felt bad for anybody that would have gotten drafted by the Cleveland Cavs.
They need to trade away one of their point guards.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I would trade Colin.
No.
I mean, they had the
I'd
choice
trade
to draft
Darius.
Culver.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't know. They're gonna have to. I guess they're gonna try it.
It might be like
Neither of them are big enough to play the 2.
They're both 6'2".
Colin was a good defender in college, but it didn't really translate to the NBA.
My people say it might be a Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum type of thing.
But they're both 6'2". It's like not the same.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
not
kind of the
same at all.
same. They're
Well,
both
no,
only
because
2
CJ
inches.
McCollum's a shooting guard. They're both point guards. I don't see any of them as shooting.
Yeah.
I think Colin can play. Shooting a little bit.
Eh.
He's not a good playmaker. He can't pass. So
Yeah, but he needs a ball in his hands. It's not like he can like.
He's a heavy ISO player. There's a lot,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are great. Some of them aren't.
it doesn't even matter. What the Cavs are doing makes no sense.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Dark shit.
All right.
Okay, wait.
Is there anything else we want to touch on here?
Nah.
That's about it
Grizzlies maybe.
for. What specifically?
Ja.
I mean, yeah, obviously that's their big pickup.
Yeah. Trade
You-
away Mike Conley.
Yeah, we think
Jaren Jackson gonna be a great player in the league.
I
in
feel
the
like
future.
Brandon Clark was a really good pickup.
Brandon Clark,
I agree.
That was a
great
steal.
guy.
That was a steal.
I think both the Gonzaga boys that got drafted in the first round were good picks. A lot of people think the Wizards reached
I did.
for
I did.
Hachimura.
The
I
Wizards.
think as long as what he did in college even sort of translates, he's in a good spot where it allows the Wizards to figure out the situation that they're in while he progresses and brings his skill set to the NBA level.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
I just don't want Bradley Beal to turn into a Kemba situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't want it to happen.
Because
I
he
want him to
just
get
signed
out of
an
there
extension
now.
too, not too long ago, so he'd be stuck for another
I
3
want him to
years.
get out of there now.
Go trade him.
I hope so.
Go trade him.
Trade deadline situation to a contender, possibly the Lakers.
Actually, no, no.
There's no
I
way
probably-
that'll happen. That can't
I
happen.
don't think. I don't think.
Yeah,
they
it's
will,
like
actually.
what 20 million luxury tax.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna keep Bradley Beal.
Beal,
I think they
hey,
have to. I don't see a team that fits.
straight up, Beal for LeBron. Who says no?
That is true.
Who says no?
I mean,
Who says no on that one?
I don't know.
What?
the Wizards, honestly.
The Wizards.
The Wizards.
No.
Alright.
All right. I think that just about wraps up free agency talk as well as draft and summer league talk. Now it's time to get on to the predictions, the way too early predictions here. We got about 3 months until the season starts, so
I can't predict the West.
you don't think so?
Well, let's start with the
No.
East then.
Let's start with the East. Yeah. Who do we think our 1 seed is?
Bucks.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
Bucks are
And
just
Bucks are still going to be up on
yeah,
top.
they're
They
a
lost
force to be reckoned with.
Brogdon, But
I think
Sure.
everyone in the East lost a key piece of their team.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
not that big of a deal.
who do we have at our 2?
76.
Sixers. I think the 1 and 2 are a lock.
I don't think they're a lock, but yeah. I
Who
think
do
the
you
Bucks
see
are a lock.
taking that 2 spot from?
If it did happen, it would be the Nets or the Pacers. Either one of those.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
I
I
don't
can.
see the
agree.
Celtics.
I can.
I don't see the Celtics.
I can see that happening.
The Nets are not going to be 3. Calm down.
I see the
I
Nets.
don't-
I see the Nets, especially without
They'll be
KD, as a
5.
4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, we
They'll be
talk
a
about the
5.
Celtics and he starts stuff.
I think-
Celtics
We
are
never-
going to
hey,
be
we
3rd.
never
Pacers
know.
are going to be 4th.
Okay, so we got Bucks and Sixers. Who do we have at 3?
Number 3.
Celtics. The
Karis LeVert
Pacers.
has
I say the
proved
Pacers.
himself.
I would say Pacers at 3.
Pacers
Either
are
Nets,
Bias.
either Nets or Pacers. I feel like they're gonna be close.
All right.
Yeah,
The
I do
Nets
feel
are
like
not
they're going to
going
be
to.
close.
'Kay.
It's going to be between the Pacers.
We'll put Pacers.
Because,
okay.
Only because Depot's out for that first little bit
Yeah.
of the season.
I would say I'm gonna put Pacers at 3 for our group predictions, and then we got Nets at 4,
Yep.
and then
Celtics 5.
Celtics 5.
Yes.
Wait, let me
Yeah.
look at the
3.
conferences.
Celtics a strong 5.
And then,
up, Seth.
and then I think we should throw the Heat in there at 6.
The Heat.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't believe in anything like the farthest
I
I
don't
can
know
see the
about
Heat
that,
going
man.
is 7,
Yeah.
and that's
No.
like that's like
That's
that's
true.
a good season
I
for
feel
them.
like
is
I
7.
feel like the Pistons might even be over.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
Oh, for sure.
no.
I think Derrick
No.
Rose brings a whole nother dimension
bro,
to that
you
team
guys
outside
are-
of the bigs.
You guys are tweaky. Y'all don't think the Raptors are gonna make the playoffs even?
The
Kawhi's not
Raptors are
there?
making the playoffs.
The Raptors are making the playoffs.
Should we throw in the Raptors at 6 then?
Yeah, the Raptors
Okay.
6.
Yeah,
I-
Raptors are.
They kind of slipped out of
Raptors
my
could
mind
be
for a
strong
second.
6.
That's
Yeah.
why I
I
said.
don't-
That's why I said Heat.
I say
Number-
Raptors, Heat,
Number 7 Pistons.
Pistons,
So wait,
Yeah.
And then
Pistons 7 or Heat 7?
Heat 7.
Just because
And
Jimmy's a
And then
winner.
8 Pistons. Yes.
So what I have for our
that's pretty
group,
good
our
prediction.
group East predictions, the number 1 seed the Bucks, the 2 Sixers, Pacers, Nets, Celtics, Raptors, Heat, and Pistons.
Yeah.
That Heat at 7.
Yeah,
Yeah. Heat.
Yeah.
Is 7.
I think, and then I think
I got-
at 9 probably the Wizards. I think the
Mm.
Wizards.
I mean,
just-
li-
No, Magic.
yeah, then-
Magic, yeah,
I
Magic.
agree.
Listen, honestly,
And then Wizards 10.
I think
Ah,
the Pistons would be
Hawks
put
10.
at 7.
Wizards are gonna fall off.
Who'd you say at 7, Jake?
I would put the Pistons at 7, but 8, I'm not too sure. Either the Hawks, maybe the
Do
Magic.
you think the Heat might fall out of the playoffs?
There's definitely a chance.
I think they're a lock in the playoffs.
I don't know. I
don't
think that's
they're
a fat
falling out.
chance.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying I don't think that they're better than the Pistons.
I agree, but I feel like it's gonna be super close. It's gonna be between one game, 100%.
I agree. Yeah,
Maybe-
it's gonna be close
Maybe
for
the
sure.
Bulls, maybe.
It's
I don't
gonna
know.
be close. No, not Bulls. No.
All right, so let's get into the West
Oh,
then.
the
Believe in
West.
the Bulls.
All right. Number 1,
I don't know.
Clippers.
Whew.
You think Clippers are 1?
Clippers 1.
Clippers. Hey, listen. I got a big
Ah.
thing to say right here.
Okay.
I don't
People
know.
didn't believe in the Kawhi Raptors, right?
That's true.
They didn't say they were going to be first. They didn't say they were going to be second. They got first. I said they were going to win. They're going to win out the East. They won out the East.
I thought they would win out the East.
And they did it. Kawhi is going to be number 1 seed again.
Okay.
In the West.
Then we'll put Clippers at 1.
Yeah, Kawhi's the winner.
2.
I don't know.
2.
I don't fucking know.
It could be
Nuggets.
It-
I think the Nuggets.
It could be any of like Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors,
yeah.
Rockets.
I think the Nuggets take the 2.
Okay. And then who's in our 3? Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers. I say.
And then 4 Warriors.
Jazz.
Jazz. You think so?
Yeah.
Anyone,
I believe in
anyone
Jazz.
else have anything else? to
Yeah.
talk? You say
I
Jazz?
believe in the Jazz.
I think the Jazz are a strong. Forward.
Okay. And then I think
Donovan
for
Mitchell's
the 5,
improving
we
his
either got the
score.
Warriors or the Rockets.
Ooh, Rockets falling out of the top 4. I take Rockets at 4 actually.
What
think so?
about
Jazz
you guys?
5.
Yo. Trailblazers.
Blazers
What, yeah,
too, yeah. Oh
Blazers.
man, there's a lot of teams
Blazers.
that deserve a high seed.
Blazers 5.
But that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's
so we
why
got.
I'm
Hey,
telling
you
I
think
can't
we
this.
do Jazz or Rockets at 4?
Rockets at 6.
I think the Rockets.
Blazers 5.
Wait, where are we putting the Warriors at?
7.
Yeah, pretty
no.
much. I think
They got no Clay
7.
for a while.
Yeah.
No Clay,
It's
D'Lo's
Steph
out.
Curry.
Hey, so are we leaving Jazz
D'Lo's
at 4?
not gonna fit that system.
I think Jazz at 4, but if you guys
I
want
don't
to
know. I think Rockets.
I agree.
James Harden's a winner,
they have an
man.
all-around team. The Jazz have an all-around.
I think mine in my personal predictions, I'd put Rockets 4, Jazz 5.
Yeah, I think that too.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
do that
think
then.
I don't
I
think
don't
James
think
Harden would
so,
let his
but-
team fall out of top.
And
I mean,
then
last year they were.
and then at the 5 you got Jazz and the 6 Blazers.
Yeah, 7 Warriors,
Yeah.
and then 8.
It might sound biased, but I think the Kings can slide in at 8.
Kings, yeah, Kings.
Kings.
I think the Kings can
Kings.
slide in at 8.
Spurs.
Spurs are going in there.
I think the Kings are a sleeper.
Nah.
I mean, the Spurs,
But
Spurs are
at the
dead.
same time, the Spurs do have a really
Who did
good team.
who did they even get?
The Spurs.
Lucas
Marcus
Hamnich
Morris.
and DeJounte's coming back. Oh, the Kings didn't get anyone.
They gave Harrison Barnes a
They
quick-
got some good second round value, but
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs, but it's okay.
So we throwing the Spurs in at 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I think the
So,
Spurs are
would-
probably a stronger 8.
Our
than the
West
Kings.
predictions, our way too early West predictions are the Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets, Jazz, Blazers, Warriors, Spurs.
I do not. I can't do the West.
Yeah, the West is actually.
The West
really
is going to be insane.
There's so many teams that deserve a
We'll see,
good
man.
high seed,
We'll see, man.
and
We'll have to
it's
see.
too hard to predict.
Yeah.
All right. So there's our predictions.
I just don't see the Trailblazers at 6 though. That's the only thing.
Well,
man.
that whole like 4 through 6 Rockets, Jazz, Blazers could go in any order.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
4 through 7 could go in any order.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Pretty much.
The whole West could go in any order.
No, I think the Clippers are number 1.
The Clippers are a
I
top
don't
2
care.
lock for sure.
Yeah.
I think the number 1. For sure. I don't.
Yeah, the West is definitely going to be crazy to see unfold.
2 through 8 can be anyone.
Yeah. All right. So we did our free agency talk, draft talk, summer league talk, as well as our predictions, our way too early predictions. Is there anything else we want to touch on?
Award
one more
races.
thing.
Celtics suck.
All right.
Ironic. 6 seed.
Wait,
What do you mean 6 seed? What?
That's
You're
what. Yeah,
literally
what you're
5th
going to be this
in our
year?
prediction.
No,
Yeah.
we're 3rd. It's okay, bud. You guys
You're
just like to
5.
hate on the Celtics.
You're 5.
the, Ce-
It's fine.
the Celtics are not good.
Say getting swept.
Stay getting 5th seed.
Stay paying Gordon Hayward $34 million.
Yeah, we will. He's averaging 22.
See how delusional.
I'm
Celtics
sorry.
fans
Did
are?
I hear 2? Did I?
2 points? Yeah, like his injury.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
2 points?
Hey, 2 is the amount of legs he didn't have after his injury.
Yay!
Calm down. Calm down.
No, do one, do.
All right, so is that it?
Yeah,
Y'all-
I think that'll wrap
wait,
it
hold
up.
up.
think that's
Wait,
it
no,
for.
one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Do y'all think the Raptors are gonna rebuild or retool now that Kawhi's gone?
Nah,
Yeah,
they're
no,
gonna still try to compete. The
Retool.
East is still
Yeah,
pretty,
they're still trying to compete for sure.
the East is still pretty weak.
I
can
mean, they
make
lost
it.
Kawhi and Danny Green though.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine though. They'll
Pascal
definitely be in
Siakam.
the playoffs. They'll definitely be in the
All right, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode.
playoffs. Yeah.
Definitely
Show gang.
a good first episode. Touched on some NBA topics. Gave our input and predictions about the upcoming season. This isn't going to be a strictly NBA podcast, obviously. It's just going to be, that's just our topic of choice for this episode. It's really going to vary from episode to episode. There will be a lot of NBA talk, as we are big NBA fans, but there's going to be definitely different topics that we're going to talk about that,
Stupid shit.
yeah, pretty much just a bunch of stupid shit.
Stupid shit podcast.
That's what it is. That's the name.
Stupidest
So-
podcast in the world.
Yeah, stupidest podcast in the world.
Gang.
Thank you for watching. That's it for episode 1. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at StupidShitCast. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening.
Shotgun, you know that, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Show
Yeah, man.